Well, hello everybody. Last week was a rugby week, and as you can see, Mots is joining me. So I know people are thinking, "Good heavens, more rugby people!" But this one's far better looking than the last ones. Mots, great to have you on, and I know you're actually at Supersport today, and so your background is because you're there working.
Yeah, we're here just doing a couple of interviews with the coaches, trying to find out how the Super Rugby teams are doing as they wait for, some glimmer of hope, a date, something that says soon and very soon we're going to get back onto the field. But that's all reliant on our president, His Excellency, Cyril Ramaphosa, and we'll have to wait for him and his team to make that decision. But in the meantime, making sure that our coaches and players are good.
Okay, uncharted territory. Nobody really knows what to expect and where we're going, which leads me to my question. How's lockdown been treating you? How have you been feeling? How are you doing? Because most of my guests these days are saying, enough, it's too long already.
Right. The first week, I think, for me was rough because I stayed by myself. So that was a difficult one, not being in any kind of proximity to friends and family, to colleagues. And because we love sport, that's the thing that keeps us entertained when we can't be out and about, and that's not around either. So I had to find a lot of ways to keep my mind engaged. I think I've done well with that, reading, cooking every day. Very difficult, but someone must do it.
What happened to our muffins and our chocolate chip cookies? Did they get lost in delivery?
I didn't want to bake. You know why? Because when you bake and you're alone, you have to eat everything. And I was like, I'm not going to do that because I will roll out of this apartment. So I'm trying not to do too much baking. But yeah, anything to keep the mind engaged. Even coloring in, I find is very soothing. And I can get lost in that for hours. So and series and movies and all that fun stuff. But really, it is just about keeping the mind engaged and staying positive. Catching up with friends and family via Zoom, WhatsApp, or social media, making sure that everybody else is okay as well.
Well, it's good to see you so upbeat. It's great that you've come on Lockdown Disc. For those that don't know what it's about, of course, it's loosely based on the old BBC radio where someone got cast away on a desert island, but they were allowed to take 8 songs with them and a book. So I've adjusted it a little bit because it makes it more difficult. And Mots was one of many who said, choosing 5 songs has been impossible. So she's got 5 songs that she's narrowed it down to, but they do get the bonus of 2 movies. So that's nice. But you were saying, like many of my castaways, to narrow it down to 5 songs is almost impossible.
No, it's terrible. I mean, I listen to a variety of music, so my ear is just always looking out for whatever sounds good, whatever sounds amazing. I will listen to it. So yeah, I would have said 5 albums. It would have probably been better. I would have 5 songs. Cutting it very closely. But I think I picked the ones that would keep me alive.
I can't remember who it was, and it might have been Ian, either Owen and Kamani or Bobes, Gabani Bobo, but one of them, I think, did exactly that. They were very sneaky. They took albums. They didn't take, I think it was Bobes maybe, that he took albums. And I said, that was very shrewd. And he said, has nobody else done that? And I said, no, nobody else has done that. Typical Bobes. Very sharp. And then, of course, he could pick and choose, which is pretty clever. So he bent the rules a little bit. But we're going to start out now. You're going to have to help me with some of these songs, and particularly pronunciation. But I've had the benefit, obviously, because you sent the list through to me, of listening to them, and they're all easy on the ear, and there's almost there's obviously some R&B in there, but there's a lot of spirituality. There's a lot of almost jazzy sounds. Hey, you like that kind of sound? Before we listen to the first one, where did you get your musical taste from?
It's got to be the parents. Hey, my parents used to. I mean, my dad was much older than my mom, so I think also the musical tastes were very different, but the same in the vibe. My dad was a huge jazz lover. Would also listen to South African music, so a lot of Afro pop, a lot of like Brenda Fassie, Kaifa Semenya, that kind of music. And he also loved R&B, but I think my mom is the R&B head, Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, Patti LaBelle, Gladys Knight. That's the kind of music I was listening to at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years old. So like on Sundays when we're all together, when mom is not working, then we jam to that while we clean the house or do whatever fun activity we're doing as a family. But that's essentially where I got it from. And I think that's why I gravitate so much to musical songs, like with different instruments and a message, something I can sing along to, but something that I can also, just listen to and love. So yeah, that's what comes from. The parents did very, very well, very well.
Yes, I think everybody has said that again, that's really your first starting point is the music of your parents. And then you meet people, you go to school, university or whatever, and you get
and it changes, it evolves.
Always come back to your parents' music. So Abenguni, is that how I pronounce this one?
Abenguni. Yes.
That's who it is.
So it's a song. It's a song by Thandiswa Mazwai. And the reason that I love it, see, I'm even getting goosebumps, is because so she speaks about how she's, wherever she goes, she's with her ancestors, her grandmother, her great-grandmother, her great-great-great-grandmother. She's always with this legion of people that have walked the earth before her. And then she speaks about the Nguni tribe, the song breaks it down so beautifully. I don't even want to sing it because I feel like I'll ruin it. Please go listen to it, Abenguni by Thandiswa Mazwai. And it's just a beautiful cultural experience. I'm not even Nguni. I'm a Sotho girl. But I resonated so much with that, with always feeling like you're stepping forward, but you still you have all those people and their dreams and aspirations and prayers for you, with you wherever you go. And I feel like if I was stuck on an island, what better song to feel like I am not alone, That's what the song says. You're not alone. You have so many that are rooting for you.
Well, our viewers can obviously Google the whole song, but as always, I'd play a little bit of it. So here it is. This is the first track that Mots is taking, and she's going to have all of her ancestors there.
Hey, I love the song.
I must say, as I pause there, that the one thing in common, and I've done quite a few of my Supersport colleagues, is that it's a wonder any of us work, because most of you are just partying half the time. Tatu is the same, and Julia. Everybody loves a party, eh?
Yes, we all do. But it's because we work so hard and so long, and mostly away from home as well.
Well,
so every time we get to put on our dancing shoes,
yes,
you're not going to get a lot of no's.
I think we can identify with that, certainly with the Rugby World Cup. We ended up with some long hours, but well worth it. Okay, track number 2. The song, I've chosen a live version of it here. Moya is what it is, and another great artist who is very easy on the ear, I have to say. Take us through why this one.
Yeah, Moya is by Lebohisi Khobela. She's one of the premier gospel artists in South Africa, and she is just, she will bless you. Like you will cry, scream, run circles, girl, pray in tongues, whatever. And I love the song because it just speaks to my spirituality, like I feel like my heart is always yielding to my God as I know him. So it's a song that I play almost all the time. I remember going to visit my aunt. I was actually picking up my mom from my aunt's house when we were able to visit one another. And the reason they knew I was outside is because they could hear the song. And even my niece was like, Auntie's here. What do you mean? Can you hear the song? So everybody, I've become synonymous with that song as well. But I absolutely love it. And her voice, sure.
Yeah. Well, we're going to listen to her now, but you are so right again. We've done quite a number of these lockdown discs now, and the more they've gone on, there are dare I say, themes that runs through everybody, particularly because we are actually in a lockdown, and of course you're visualizing yourself being on a desert island, but spirituality is very important. So it's one thing staying physically fit, but the mental side of it. So I could fully understand why you're taking this. So here we go. This is Mots' second track she's taking into her imaginary isolation.
This is actually another song, but I love this song as well.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, this one is called Moya. The one I love is called Moya Wam. But I love this one as well. Please play it. Moya, Moya, Moya.
Okay, so because of my mistake there, I will give you the blessing of taking both those two albums. How about that? You can take both the two albums there.
Both the songs, yes. Yeah. I'll take both the songs.
You know, we're getting into a stage of lockdown. I started off, I was in the equivalent of phase 5. Terry Payne did the first one. I didn't allow him any latitude, but now I'm kind of getting into my own lockdown disc phase 2. So people are allowed to take partners.
You're getting soft.
Yeah, next person might even be able to take some alcohol. Although you've got some alcohol.
No.
No, you have. Because you're taking brandy just now, but we'll get on to that.
Yeah.
We're going to come back to brandy because that's one of Mots' choices. But first, let's move on to your movie, Mots. Great movie you took. And many people will know this movie, Coach Carter, Samuel Jackson.
Yeah. There's just so many lessons in that story, you know. And I also think because of the backdrop of basketball, a sport that we all know. For me, not necessarily know very well. I don't watch the NBA or anything like that. I'm not seeped in the culture of basketball, but I'm seeped in culture of sport. And team sport always carries the same theme, you know, putting the team above yourself, improving together, knowing that you're as strong as your weakest player and that kind of thing. And just also, you know, speaking about how the environment can also impact what a player's outcome, you know, impact who they become, what they become, how you need to almost leave all of that behind when you walk into the practice session, into the gym, and you know, and be one with your team. And I love the story of triumph. You know, we that's why we do what we do. We love the story of triumph. We love to tell the story of triumph. We love winners. And Coach Carter, absolutely perfect. And the music on it, oh, so good.
Yes, you see, you like a couple of others, very sneaky, because now you can take, because it's got good music, you allow the soundtrack, so you can get some good music out of your movie as well. You know, it's quite interesting with movies, with us being in lockdown now, and me having done this series, it's triggered off me rewatching a lot of things because, for example, Braveheart was very popular with about 4 guests. I think Odwer and O'Connor took Braveheart and a couple of other people. But what's happened is I thought about movies and thought, let me go and have a look at it because I've got quite a range of movies in collection. I keep rewatching them. And the one thing about good movies with a good message, they don't really age because the message is always there.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And Coach Carter's not that old, but we could play it I'll play it for my kids one day, and the lesson is exactly the same. You know, we would have changed and evolved, but I think there are certain fundamentals that just remain forever and ever. And that's why we always go back to those movies for that, not just the nostalgia, but to remind ourselves of what we know already in our hearts and just have that reignited.
I found a real gem the other day with Terrence Howard in it. It's called Pride. I don't know if you've seen it. It's about Terrence Howard is a swim coach, and it's based on a true story.
I've heard about it. I haven't seen it yet.
So
I'll definitely put it on my list.
Oh, yeah, and I'm getting goose flesh myself just talking about it, like you did with the first song. It is so good. And if you get a chance, watch that. But there are many good movies. Thanks
Definitely
a lot.
will.
And catch up or whatever. Okay, so good.
Yeah.
Coach Carter, your first movie. I kind of let the cat out of the bag with Brandy, didn't I? So it's a case,
Yeah.
it's a case of wow, because that's the Brandy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that song. It's one of my favorite love songs, you know. So it will remind me of love. And Brandy, that album, the Full Moon album, for me is her best work ever. You know, she makes amazing music, but there was just something about that album that stood the test of time. So I listen to it often, but I love how she transitions in that song, you know, from someone who is in this horrible relationship and now she's found someone new and who's really stepped up, who's helped her to also open up her heart, and her vocals are amazing. You know, I love good music, and Brandy's that, yeah. And she'll make me think about alcohol.
Yes.
Yeah. Just a little bit.
Exactly. Well, yeah. So here we go. As you heard, Mots made a real pitch to take the whole album with her because she said it's a good album. I can't play the whole album. What I can do is play you Brandy, and wow, this is track 3 that Mots is taking onto her desert island. Listen to a little bit of this. I can also see, Mods, if I kept that going, we would have spent just 30 minutes on that song. You would have done the whole song, which is great.
we would have been here all day. Yeah.
What year was that album then? It's
2001 or 2002.
Say, it's a while ago. So you were probably an impressionable teenager, and you would have coming with those teenage vibes. The reason I say this is because, as you know, somebody from upstairs that I'm married to might be popping down to jive to that. I would imagine. I there's some similarities there. But she was great. She was huge in her day, really a huge artist, and a lot of people loved her.
And even now. Oh, yeah, wow. What a beautiful, beautiful song, man.
Okay, your second movie that you're taking, remind me, because I remember the first was Coach Carter. What was? Oh, was it Bad Boys?
Bad Boys. The first one. Ooh. I don't even think we were old enough to watch Bad Boys 1.
But then, you did.
Yeah, we did. I think it was when my mom came home the first time around. She used to work overseas in Saudi Arabia, and the first time around she came back, she brought all these DVDs. Remember, we used to watch DVDs. Jeez, I'm that old. And we watched Bad Boys 1. Oh my gosh, amazing. Will Smith, Martin.
Yeah, and they've both gone on to huge things. And Martin Lawrence, eh? It was Martin Lawrence.
Martin Lawrence. I'm looking for his surname in my mind. I'm like, how did you forget Martin's surname? Will Smith, Martin Lawrence. Just beautiful. But like the plot, the entire movie was just so world class. I love the captain. I love how much crap they gave him. It's funny. It's serious. It is so good. I love it. And it's just that friendship, that weird friendship, you know.
Two big brands. I mean, they've gone on to be certainly in Martin Lawrence's case, he's done some unbelievable humor, and of course the other guy is just in a league of his own. So great movies. So you've got an action movie, and you've got lots to look forward to in Coach Carter as well. We're going to go back to our next song. So this is a song by label Matosa, A Brand New Day. Mots, tell me about it. I mean, I got a sneaky suspicion, having heard it and looked at the title, we know what it's about, but Brand New Day.
Yeah. I was, I mean, when we grew up, Kwaito and house was like our staple diet. That's the music I used to listen to. So TKZ, Bongo Muffin, Boom Shaka, you know, all the artists that I love, most of them were part of those groups. And Lebo Matosa broke off and did her own thing, and Brand New Day is so her, you know. She was just a woman that, you know, exuded life and life abundantly. She knew who she was. She knew what she was about. She always stood up for herself and her own truth. You know, she wasn't trying to be anybody else. And I love Brand New Day because it reminds you that, you know, it says it's a brand new day and the sun is shining bright, a brand new day and everything feels so right. Because some mornings you wake up and it doesn't feel like it's going to be a good day. And you listen to that song and it just lifts you up. And I love her. I love her voice in it. And I love her spirit, you know. And it's such a pity that we lost her when we did. She was so young, with so much still ahead of her. But the music lives on all these years later. So yeah, it's I'd wake up to the song every day on the island.
Okay, well, I'm going to play a little bit of it, and this is Brand New Day, which is, I think, the fourth track that Mots is taking. And there's another dance track coming, so don't worry if you think this is a bit slower. Mots is going to every day on the island and listen to this Brand New Day. Here we go. Life is confusion. Well, interesting voice. Like a candle in the rain, burning down. Yes, deep, but the magic stays on and on. Oh, how can you tell? I guess it never dies. When I woke up this morning, everything I knew has changed. Then I asked myself if this is a dream or just an illusion. The sun is shining bright. It's a brand new day. Yeah, I really like that. That is, I can see why you would want to wake up every morning.
A vibe.
What a unique voice. Not a usual voice, I would have to say.
Beautiful.
So distinctly memorable.
Yes. But she was just like that. She was that kind of person, someone who stood out, someone who's just bold and beautiful, you know. At a time when, you know, you'd expect a lot more composure is not the word I'm looking for, but you know how it is. You want the ladies to be ladies, and she was not here for it. She's just like, this is who I am. Take me as I am. So I love her personality, and I love how it comes out in her music as well.
You did. I must say, I enjoyed that immensely. Not that I didn't enjoy your other choices, but that would certainly have me playing it every morning for sure. Before we go to your last song, your book is an interesting one. Tell me about the book that you have taken. And for those that are watching for the first time, of course, you're allowed, all of my castaways are allowed to take the Bible or whatever is their holy book, whether it be the Quran or whatever. So she's already packed that, but your additional book, Mots, is what?
So my additional book is Malcolm Gladwell's David and Goliath. And to be honest, I would take anything that's Malcolm Gladwell with me. Sorry, Neil, you've just paused. So
yeah, I can hear you, so that's okay. As long as we can hear each other, it's fine.
Okay.
I can hear you. Yeah. Well, your favorite author or one of your favorite authors?
Yeah, definitely. Malcolm Gladwell is one of my favorite authors. I just love his books because they make you think. You know, I remember reading Outliers, and it brilliantly speaks about how being different being set apart or being different can still make you a champion. You know, you don't necessarily have to fit in all the differences that give you the edge. And so I read that, and then I read David and Goliath, and he speaks about, you know, when you are David in the scenario, how do you beat your Goliath, whatever it is? And he writes about, you know, for example, I think one of the doctors was deaf, or just different life scenarios where the person he's writing about is at a disadvantage somehow because of an ailment, where they live, the time in which they were born. Like he just breaks it down in different scenarios and makes you realize that the thing that you think is your shortcoming might just be the very reason you are ahead. It might be the very reason that you push harder than everybody else. It might be the reason that you are more innovative than everybody else, because you have so much more to consider. And I think that was brilliant. I read it mid-year last year and absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. I think, you know, Malcolm's books, buy all of them, but read Outliers and read David and Goliath. It's beautiful, beautiful.
You've
beautiful
actually also paused. I could hear you loud and
Yeah.
clear, which is why I didn't stop you. But I'm just going to, we're going to try and reboot and then end off, because we still have a song to go. So hold on there. Okay, well, we're back. We had a few hiccups because it's bandwidth and all of that. But I've already started the final song, and Mots is actually giving it away. Hey? You're talking about Lionel Richie.
So love me some Lionel Richie, and All Night Long, one of my favorite songs.
Well, we've come to the end of your 5 tracks, probably just as well, because that bandwidth is playing havoc on us. But we've got the gist of it, and the point is that you're going to have a great time. You're going to enjoy your lockdown, and it sounds to me like you might be on your own in lockdown as well, but your spirit is always going to triumph.
Yeah. The most important thing is just to stay positive, keep your mind engaged, do things that you love, that make you happy inside. It makes the days go by so much quicker, and that's what I've told myself, one day at a time until the end. And so far so good. Yeah.
Mots, that's fantastic. I've actually stopped the video because there's a lovely picture on you that we can see anyway, so we don't need to see you bopping around. Maybe that's why it is. There was just too much bopping and partying going on at your end. But thank you so much for the opportunity. It's been fantastic. I mean, it's
too
great
much of a good time.
It's great to work with you, with your energy, and that's come through on your island. So let's hope, as you started the broadcast by saying, we're back with live sports sooner than later.
Oh, sooner than later, Neil. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. You take care.